Hey guys, welcome back. Today we are going to discuss about one of the DDL command, alter. So as I mentioned earlier, alter is a DDL command which is used to alter or modify the structure of the existing database objects. So when I say database objects, they may be table, view, sequences, etc. So we can add, delete, or modify the columns in an existing table. This alter command is also used to add and drop various constraints on the existing tables. So let's look at the syntax of all the alter commands, and then we will see the examples of each and every syntax mentioned here. So the first syntax is to add or drop a column into our existing table. So to do that, we need to use the keyword alter table and the table name. Then we need to use the keyword add or drop. If we want to add the column, we need to use the keyword add. If we want to drop the column from the table, we can use the keyword drop. After this, we can specify the column which we want to add or drop from our table and the data type with it. If we are adding our column, we require to mention the data type. If we are dropping the column from our table, we do not need to mention the data type. We can simply mention drop column name. The second syntax is to rename the column of an existing table. So to rename the column, we have a syntax alter table, which is our keyword, followed by the table name. Then again we can use the keywords rename column, and we can mention old column name, which is our existing column name in our table, and then to, which is again a keyword, followed by the new column name. The next syntax is to alter or modify the data type of an existing column. So to alter the data types, we have a syntax alter table table name, and then we can use a keyword alter column. So we need to give the column name which is already existing in our table, and then we can give the data type. So the next syntax in the list is to add the constraints into our table. So to add the constraints, we have a syntax alter table table name, and then we can specify the keyword add constraint name, and what constraint we want to add. It may be a primary key, it may be a unique key, or it may be a foreign key. And then inside the braces, you can mention the column name. The last syntax is to drop the constraints from our table. So to do that, it is simply alter table name, and then we can specify the drop constraint keyword along with the constraint name. There are some restrictions while using the alter table DDL command. So the first one is you cannot change the name of the table using alter table command. And also we cannot decrease the size of the column of a table if the data is already exist. So let's move on to SQL developer and see all the alter table commands with examples. So here we are in our SQL developer. We will be using the table employee to demonstrate all the examples for alter command. So let's see the table first. So this is the table which we are using for this alter table command demonstration. So we have three records inside employee table. Let's also describe our employee table to see if there's any primary key or any constraint is there under that table. So we notice here all the columns does not have any kind of constraint. So as we can see here, we have total 7 columns in our table. So let's go ahead and add another column called state into our employee table. To do that, we have alter table followed by the table name, which is employee, and then we are using a keyword add, and inside the braces we are specifying the column which we want to add into our existing table along with its data type. So let's go ahead and run this query, and if you notice the table employee has been altered. So let's see if the state column is added to our employee table. If you notice the column has been added. Now let's go ahead and modify this state column to change the length of the column from varchar to 15 to varchar to 30. So to do that, we have a query alter table employee, and then we can use the keyword modify, column name which is state, and then the data type which we want to update for that particular column. So it is varchar to 30. So before we run this query, let's describe our employee table. So if you notice, the column state is having a data type which is varchar2 with length 15. So now let's alter this table and see whether it has been changed or not. So if you notice here, the column state has been changed the size from varchar 15 to varchar to 30. Now let's look at the third example to rename the column state to country. So for this we have the alter table command, which is alter table employee, and then we can use the keyword rename column. This is a keyword, and then the existing column name, which is state, and again we can use the two keyword, and then we can assign a new column name which is country. So let's go ahead and run this query, and if you notice the table has been altered, state has been changed to country. Now let's add the constraint to our employee table. But before that, let's check if there is any existing constraint is there for any of the column in our employee table. So as you can see, there are no constraints are there for any column of our employee table. So let's go ahead and create one constraint, which is primary key constraint. So to do that, we can use alter table employee add constraint keyword. After that, we can specify the name of the constraint and then the actual constraint, which is primary key. It may be a unique key or any other integrity constraint of your choice. So for this example, we are using the constraint primary key on column employee number. So let's run this query. So if you notice, the table has been altered, and let's describe our table once again. If you notice here, this column has become not null column, which is one of the property of our primary key. So the last example in our list is that how we can drop the constraints from our table. So to do that, we have a query alter table name. This time we will use the keyword drop constraint followed by the constraint name, which is pk underscore employee number. Let's go ahead and run this query. So table has been altered. Now again go and describe our employee table, and if you notice here, the constraint is no more available for employee number column. So with this, we have covered all sort of examples of using the alter table command. That's it for this lecture. We will see you in the next one. Thank you.